curious to know, in your research, what role did parents play in system achievement?
Parents played a critical role in terms of they cared about what was happening in their child's education on a daily basis. So in some cases, that was just organic, so particularly if you're in India or if you're in China, parents know that unless the child does great in school, it's not just that life will be bad, there will be no life, right? So there's a very heavy cultural focus in some systems. In other systems, they had to create it. So for example, in Western Cape in South Africa, what would happen was that in many of these cases, the children's parents were illiterate. So the school district actually went out into the farmers' union and said, we're going to make sure that there is time that is taken out from work such that you can come to the parent-teacher conference. And they literally agreed it with the farmers' union. They also went out of their way to support these parents to memorize stories that they could then recite to their children every night because they couldn't read to them because they were illiterate. So systems have gone to great lengths in order to ensure that parents are able to always ask the question of what's happening today, what have you learned? And that is a big signal for students that what happens in school matters.
This is one of our biggest challenges, and I think we haven't had enough good conversation on it. I tell the story all the time. I told this morning when President Obama met with a prime minister of South Korea, a very high-performing country, and asked, what's your biggest educational challenge? And the president of South Korea said, by far my biggest challenge is my parents are too demanding. And, and so we laugh, but we also wince when we hear that. And he said, I have to import thousands of teachers every single year because my parents demand a world-class education, and they all want their children to be taught English. I wish parents were knocking down my door, knocking down Deb's door, knocking down Carl's door, the principal's door, demanding more. And I think we have to find ways to motivate. Part of what we're trying to do is sort of wake up the country. And this is not just inner city urban or minority, this is rural, urban, suburban. We need parents across this country demanding much more than what we're doing today. The fascinating thing in the PISA study is the only thing our children lead the world in is self-confidence. And so we're way up there. Number one in self-confidence, we're 25th in math. There's a massive disconnect in how we get parents to demand more of us, of themselves, of their schools, of their children. We have a lot of work to do.
Amanda Brown with Public Education Network. Just to take this a step further, I'm interested, Mona, in beyond parents, the role that the public plays in demanding high-quality schools and setting expectations for schools to churn out kids that can participate in college or in career opportunities. Sure. What role did that play in the countries that you looked at?
And so let me just go through the example of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong faced a really critical decision about language of instruction. Was it going to be Chinese? Was it going to be English? And the teachers wanted it to be Chinese because their English wasn't very good. And the parents wanted it to be English because they knew jobs, financial district, were not going to be successful unless we have English, strong English speakers emerging. And what the Department of Education in Hong Kong did was just very actively to engage the business community to say, we need it to be English because of the importance that's going to play for us in our business and the growth of Hong Kong. To actively go out to the parents and say, it's really important for you to be vocal. They would go beyond just having parent-teacher associations, and they would have parent district, like actually every district would have a community association that would have a voice. So school districts have often gone out of their way to engage business, community, not just parents, when they felt there was an issue of urgency. And as a consequence, it was the first time ever that the teachers of Hong Kong actually went on strike. But the government was able to stand strong and say, we're going to require certification of English skills over a 6-year period. We're going to give you all the support you need, but within 6 years, you have to be able to certify at a level of proficiency. And that struck accord across the entire country. So there are several examples, such as Hong Kong, that we've seen.